Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
I was thinking about marriage. And I will...
Marriage.
Yeah. You went right where I was thinking.
That's right.
Princess Bride, baby.
You can't
Princess
think about
Bride.
marriage without thinking about that speech.
So, working now as a therapist and working as long as I have with divorced families, I like to always come back and revisit the idea of how do we avoid getting divorced? And I don't have an answer for that because if I did, boy, could I become an instant billionaire.
Sure.
But at the same time, I kind of go back to, well, are there things that we can do while married that might help prevent us from going through divorce court?
I mean, I would guess, right? I have a different take on that in that we tried to prevent it from the beginning. And I'm not suggesting that my solution is the best or the most effective for everyone. But,
well, it's worked for you.
I mean, it has. And ours was really simple. Just don't ever mention the word. But I think that we haven't had massive challenges that some other people have had. So
okay,
it's tough.
I think marriage by its very nature is challenging.
I think so too.
And so I was scrolling through, is that what you, through social media.
Sure, that's what we do.
And I ran across something and I'm thinking, you know what? I really like this. It spoke to me as being fairly accurate. And, you know, as your daughter is, your youngest, is soon going to be walking down the aisle.
Yep.
I hope I can say that out loud because I just did. But I think of to what kind of advice you might give. And I don't know, would you consider any of these that I'm about to share as something you might pass along as wise words, encouragement, or suggestions?
Okay.
And so now, when I saw this on social media, they called it the 10 Commandments of Marriage. I don't know that I would call them the 10 Commandments myself. I think they might be guidelines,
sure,
or suggestions.
Okay.
But I thought we could explore some of these because at the end of the day, you get married because you plan on spending the rest of your life with this person.
Right.
You really like this person. You love this person. And sadly, you're right. There are a lot of stressors in life that can put a strain on a marriage to cause it to break.
Right.
And so I thought, well, maybe if we explored some of these, I don't know, might be fun.
What you got?
Well, okay, the first one is titled, Thou Shalt Speak with Respect, Especially When Angry.
Okay. I think that sums up two of our last episodes, right? The previous two that we did.
Okay.
You know, being calm and you know, the inner critic stuff. I mean, we want to respect other people, definitely, in general.
Oh, yeah.
But especially that person that you're going to spend every really private moment of your life with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
what does that look like, though?
Well, I think it starts with your tone.
Really?
Not just the words.
Really? You think it's my tone?
Yeah.
What's wrong with my tone?
Your tone is accusatory.
I don't really know what you're talking about. I think I sound just like I always sound.
Really? Okay.
I mean, probably not. I was just trying to do a little role play there, but yeah, I think tone is important, right? I think how we come off.
Yes.
Very important.
One of it's not just what you say, but it's how you say it. I remember those words being shared with me by my parents at my earliest memories. And so, and you know, you and I, we've talked on more than one occasion about the role that words can have. But I go to when we are emotionally charged, we are going to say things that we're going to regret. We tend to be attack rather than receive in our comments.
Yep.
And we're going to be loud. We're going to, again, our emotional brain has taken over. And our emotional brain is in fight or flight or freeze mode. And so logic doesn't come to play. It can't come to play. That part of our brain is short-circuited while our emotions are in charge. And so if you can take a few breaths, calm yourself. I mean, Sherry and I have gotten to the point where I'll walk away and I'll let it go and calm myself. I'll go for a walk. I'll get in the car and drive somewhere, and I will just yell.
Yep.
So that only I can hear. And then when I've calmed down and I've thought about, well, one, why am I angry? What am I really, really angry at? And move that anger into fully exploring, well, I'm not really angry. I'm feeling a little humiliated by what actually happened, and it's coming out as anger.
Yeah.
So recognizing where it's coming from and then going back when I'm more calm and we'll have a conversation.
I think oftentimes this comes down to like that. We've said it before. What hill do you want to die on?
Mm-hmm.
And very few there's very few that I would want to do that in a marriage. So, I think that space to reflect is good, and then come back to it when both are calm. And I think that can give the respect that you need for each other, and come to a better decision about it.
I have found that I use I statements. Mm-hmm. This is how I felt when you said. And I'm not even sure that's really what you said.
See, when you said I statements, I thought you meant like, I want you to do this.
Well, that you can use that I statement that way, but that really will not get you the results you want.
That wasn't the kind of I statement you were talking about, huh?
No.
Yeah, but I think that respect, right, is just so important.
And when you can show respect, that brings us to number 2. Thou shalt make your partner feel chosen, not just loved. Mm. And when you are able to communicate, not just with your words, but with your actions, then you can let that person feel like, I don't just love you. Of all the people in the world, I want to spend my life with you.
Yeah. I think this is huge, right? This is something that we've practiced, making each other feel chosen, but even to the point of like, if it came to today and I had just met you, I would still choose you, right? Like I would choose you now. Because love is an interesting word in the English language in that it could mean anything, because I love rocks, but I love lettuce. I love burgers that we're going to eat soon. I love, my wife. I love, my parents. I love my siblings. It all sounds so very much. I mean, like if I can say I love rocks and I love a person, that just sounds, it sounds very odd, right? Like, what does that really mean then? Because clearly those aren't the same thing as far as what that love means. But making somebody feel chosen, that I would choose you. Every day, right? Every minute, I would always choose you. And in doing so, I think you have to, at times in those moments, choose the person over the issue.
And that's, I think, what they're showing, or what the intention is with this belief, this commandment, so to speak, because we're giving them priority.
Right.
We're doing that not just in what we say, but also in how we do. Again, deeds, not words, and then follow through with it.
Absolutely.
All right. So that brings us to number 3.
Okay.
And this one is titled, or states, thou shalt repair ruptures quickly. Now, it's not saying that you can't fight or argue with your spouse, but do you repair that attack, that argument, that hurt quickly, Or do you just ignore it and let it fester and get infected?
And I think this is where, for me, I don't know how you and Sherry are, but for me and my wife, we try not to go to bed angry.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a thing that, that's an axiom that lots of people have mentioned over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's possible all the time, right? I mean, I'm sure that there are times when we have, but we still try to repair it quickly the next day, at the very least. But it's very difficult to go to sleep and get good sleep when you're mad. And so we try to repair that fast. And I think that has contributed to a lot of success for us in marriage. But again, I think this still comes down to, like, what hill do you want to die on? In order for something to get repaired or to get resolved, somebody has to give in somewhere, right? Somebody has to compromise. And so you got to figure out, what are you willing to do? And which comes back to the second one, right?
Right.
Like, am I going to choose you, or am I going to choose this problem?
Right.
So, but repairing that quickly, I think, is super important, because otherwise it's like it's like a disease, right? It's just going to get worse.
Again, being able to offer that sincere apology, to have that humble conversation using I statements, having that willingness to be able to understand that other person's perspective, their point of view, is key.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to grow. And so, it's not that you had the argument. It's how did you respond to it?
Yeah.
So, but, I have to say, and you mentioned before, and we started by saying that life, there's a lot of stressors that can put an impact on marriage. And I have to say that not all of your issues come from inside. They can come from outside your marriage relationship. And which brings us to the next one, number 4, thou shalt protect thy marriage from outside threats.
So, I mean, what does that look like?
Well,
I mean, I think there's the obvious one of, like, infidelity.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, that kind of attraction that would take place. I think that's an obvious one that most people would say, yeah, you just need to get away from that person, or you need to cut that relationship off, or you need to get a new job to get away from that, whatever that might be. I think that's an obvious one, right? So,
sure.
But, what are some others?
Well, I think some of that can come from family drama, especially with your extended family. Your marriage is you, your spouse, your immediate children. Mm-hmm. But when you start throwing in your siblings or your in-laws or all of that, and again, the further we can add all the various levels of extended family. Yeah. But as you get drawn into extended family drama, well, then now you're arguing about stuff that doesn't really even directly, immediately impact you and your relationship.
Yeah.
And so I think that has a huge thing. Social media, especially when you air family drama on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever social media platforms out there.
Sure.
Social media is not a place to air family dirty laundry.
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion is that social media is not a place to air anything. No. But, I mean, I try to only use it professionally, but it's just what a terrible way to upset somebody else by sharing something that's going to hurt another person, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that just, and it'll never go away.
Oh,
you think you can delete it and it's gone, but it's not.
Well, it's like word spoken. Once you've said it, you can't reel it back in.
Right.
And I don't know that this is always the case, but it always feels fairly accurate that when you air these kinds of issues out there on social media, you're looking for validation. Well, if you're looking
100%.
to social media for validation of your thoughts, opinions, values, and beliefs, whoa, have you chosen the wrong location? Yeah. Marriage is your validation should come from your spouse. Yeah. And not entirely and exclusively, but
and frankly, if it's not your spouse, right? If you're not married, because this can apply too, right? If you're not married, then make it be a close friend. Like, get your validation from a living, breathing person who's standing in front of you. Don't go seek it from the people in the far corners of the socials. Yeah. That really don't give a hoot about you whatsoever, right? I mean. And you don't even know who they are.
Oh, and a lot of times, no.
It says it's a 40-year-old man, but it might be, 12-year-old girl. Who knows, right? Like,
sure.
Whatever's happening. So, like, you just don't know. Nothing's real out there.
Well, your marriage is an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it is a two-person ecosystem, and you need to protect it by nurturing it.
Yeah, I mean,
pulling the weeds.
It's like a small garden, right?
And if you want it to be beautiful, well, you've got to put in the right kind of effort. If you're going to sow hatred and discontent,
right,
then that's not protecting your marriage from outside influences or threats.
Yeah.
So, again, I agree with you. The obvious is infidelity, but it can be more than that.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next one is thou shalt practice emotional transparency.
Okay.
And I have said so many times to Sherry that I cannot read your mind. So please tell me what you're thinking. Please tell me what you're feeling so that way I can understand. Because if I'm expected to guess what's going on, well, I'm going to fail epically and frequently.
Yeah. I can't. I agree, right? I think that this is the thing. I'm an odd duck, I think, in marriage as a guy that I want to talk.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife doesn't always want to talk. She wants to reflect and often feels that things are just about her, not in a selfish way, but in really in almost the wrong way, in that she's critical of herself. And I just want to talk because I think if we talk it out, everybody feels better. And so I do think that emotional transparency is really important, because otherwise, if you're the one holding it in, then you're damaging yourself as well as the relationship with the other person, because they don't know what's going on. Right. And if can you be too open? I think probably.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you can be dumping on the other person and that's not good either. Right?
No.
But you have to have some reflection and know what to share and when to share it, and still be respectful of the partner. I mean, I just tell my wife I want to hear everything. I'm not going to take it personally. And but that's who she is. She needs to share things and speak them out because it helps her. So you got to be cognizant, I think, of and realize who your partner is and what level of emotional transparency to have.
It's scary because you're opening yourself up. You're making yourself vulnerable. But if you cannot be vulnerable to that person that you love above all else, who can you be vulnerable with?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's to me, that's the cornerstone of marriage, is that this is the person that you can be your true, authentic self, warts and all, and they're going to love you nonetheless.
Right.
And because with vulnerability, that really is a doorway to intimacy, and we want to keep that open. So,
and does that take us into the next one?
I think it does, because
I think I'm seeing a pattern here of how these things.
So they kind of scaffold to each other. But the next one is thou shalt grow together, not just side by side.
So I shouldn't just be two completely different people.
Well,
I don't know what are we saying?
you are partners.
Okay.
So you and your spouse, you are
That's
partners.
a good word. I like that word.
And well, thank you. And the idea is that you're collaborating together, you're working together, you go through all the ups and downs that both marriage and life can throw at you. And we've talked time and again about how it's not that you get knocked down, it's how you get back up.
Sure.
And as you realize we're going through this together, well, you're growing together.
Right.
And so.
But together, to me, when I hear that word together, I imagine, it makes me think of a goal.
Oh, sure.
Right. Like if you're working together, then you must be working towards the same goal, right? Like if I'm trying to be a rocket engineer and she wants to, be some other, be a civil engineer, right? Like those aren't necessarily the same thing when we don't have the same goal. If I'm trying to help the family be, wealthy, and the other person just wants to spend all the money, right? Then we're not working towards the same goal, right?
Sure.
I mean, I think that if the togetherness, I think, gives that idea, and partnership, right, gives that idea of that you're trying for the same end goal, right? And I don't know. I mean, what does that look like? How do we work towards that?
I think we have to evolve, and if we get stuck and we stay put, well, if one moves forward and the other stays stuck behind, well, that's creating a gap, a distance. And over time, well, then we're not communicating to each other.
Right.
Or that if that emotional transparency might not be as transparent. And
sure.
So, I mean, you got to, again, it takes dedication, it takes effort, but if you continue to evolve together, however that evolution looks, it can help you stay connected, and it can help you continue to grow together as you go through life's experiences. I mean, you guys are empty nesters, and have been for a while. And it won't be too long, and retirement will be something that is not just so far in the future, it's happening now. You got a grandchild.
Whether we like it or not, right?
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, and Sherry and I are kind of in the same boat that, we're closer to retirement age. And so we're making those kinds of plans. Our ideas are evolving. I mean, I left teaching and I have changed careers.
You did. That was bold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's created some stress. It's created,
But I know that Sherry's on your side.
Yes.
Right. I know that you two are walking that together, as hard as that may be. And why is that, right? That is because she believes in what your goal is.
Yes.
She believes in what you're doing, and you believe in what she's doing. And I know that there's a whole host of other things that you do on a daily basis that you guys are sacrificing for. So, but you're doing it together, and that's what's important. And I think that it's okay, right, to be in places where, like, for instance, obviously, your change of career takes us a temporary, financial hit. And that's okay, right? Like that might interrupt a goal of wealth and security and retirement and those kinds of things. But, it's okay for like one person to be a little bit behind the other on some things, and you can you give and take and you move together. I don't think it's unlike, the defense and the offense of a football team, right? Sometimes one is good and the other's not, and you can still win the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that it's, I feel that way in my marriage sometimes. So,
well, and I'm glad you mentioned, like a football team, offense, defense, because that's our next commandment is thou shalt divide the load like teammates. And
that's a good one.
I do. And I think it brings us, when we're talking a little bit about transparency, but in support and common goals and evolution together, a marriage, a successful marriage anyway, it's not a scorekeeper. It's not well, I've been doing this, and you've only been doing that.
Right.
It's not a competition of who can be better. It's are we working together? Are we supporting each other?
Huh?
And, there are times where you're right. I mean, it has been a bit of a financial struggle, and she's helping pick up the slack, but that's changing, and it won't stay this way forever. And it's a changing careers as I have, and I've shared all along that this is my retirement gig.
Right.
So it is a bit scary, but yet at the same time, we're going to divide and conquer, and we'll go through this.
But see, that's the great thing about marriage, and this is what saddens me when I think of a whole generation that seems to be tossing marriage aside. Because I draw so much strength from my marriage. Right. I draw so much strength from my wife, and I feel like I give her strength at times that she needs it. And, you just can't get that anywhere else. I really just can't. You can't get that with temporary relationships or just being with somebody for 3 or 5 years and then switching to another person. And it just doesn't go that deep. And I just see what people get out of that. What I've gotten out of it, what my wife's gotten out of it, the strength that we've been able to create. And I see what, that's happening with you guys as well. So, and that's just so important, I think, you can't take it all with you, right? So
no.
Wealth is, while it's important in this society and, we put a lot of value on it, ultimately you can't take it with you. So it's not really necessarily the end all be all.
No. Which brings us to the next one, which is thou shalt notice the good, show appreciation, say thank you. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be major. It can just be I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. The little things. Hey, you know what? Thanks for doing the laundry. Hey, thanks for cleaning up the kitchen. Thanks for making the dinner.
I think it's also important to do those things.
Oh, yes.
For the other person without expecting to hear that back. You want to hear it, and probably the way you're going to hear it the most is to express it when you see them doing it. But I mean, we've spent a couple of years doing some tough things, going through master's programs and doing all that kind of stuff. And I tried to support my wife as much as I could, right? She has a harder job than I do, even as we're both teachers, but hers is harder, just is. And so I tried to support in a lot of ways, right, at home because we're both full-time workers outside the home. So it's not like she should have to do everything. And she's a very traditional kind of a woman where she feels like all that cooking and baking and cleaning and stuff is really something she should do. And I just disagree. I think we are partners, and I think we do things together. And so I would try to do service things, right, to do that, and then also let her know when when I appreciate what she does.
It's building that emotional wealth. I've shared many times that a relationship is like a bank account.
Yeah.
And you got to make more deposits than withdrawals to make it work. And when you're able to show gratitude, you're making deposits because your criticism is going to be a withdrawal.
So in the past couple of months, we've watched the TV show again, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were like, why does this thing get funnier as time goes on, right? I mean, it just feel like we just identify with even more and more stuff, right? And we have a different perspective on it. But they had a good episode where they were looking for physical intimacy, and he was like, doing sweeping the floor or something on Christmas Day or something. And she saw him, and he didn't look particularly attractive, but he was sweeping, and she appreciated that. And was, thinking, very intimate thoughts. So there was a lot of suggestion there, but, that was going to lead to a bedroom incident. But that's important, right? Like doing things for the other person will lead to some level of appreciation.
Well, and that you mentioned that's number 9. Thou shalt maintain emotional and physical intimacy. And intimacy is not just sex, though that is a nice, important benefit.
It isn't, right?
But it's that physical closeness.
Yeah.
It's taking comfort from being near your spouse, having that presence to be there, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. Because, okay, I like to hold Sherry's hand. We will hold hands when we're out in public. And it is that touch. It's not, maybe it's no big deal to her, but to me, it is a huge deal. I like to be able to do that. It's a way for me to express, appreciation, gratitude, love. Because,
absolutely.
Again,
and it's funny because that was the thing that I just thought of before you even said it.
Oh,
because I tell my wife all the time, I love to hold her hand, and I love it in a way that is exactly the same as when I was 17 and I first held her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way I feel about it. And so we hold hands a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's automatic, and so it might not seem like it's that way, but it really is. I just really, that makes me feel very close. So
yes, I feel a level like electricity.
Yeah.
A warm, fuzzy feeling. So again, we can let busy life take away from that, but when we can replace it with physical as well as emotional closeness, well, then we help maintain that spark. Which brings us to the last one. Number 10, thou shalt choose your partner every single day, which kind of goes back to that one we talked about earlier.
I think this is a repeat of number 2, right?
Well, yeah, but...
And so maybe that just shows the importance of the choosing.
Yes.
Right? Not just choosing for that one day where you say I do, but choosing every day.
Absolutely. That's why we give them grace. We pick patience. We choose to show up every day.
God knows my wife needs a lot of patience with me. So
oh yeah, Sherry does too.
So
I'm not an easy person. There are times where I don't even like me. But when
that's the inner critic thing. Well, go back and listen to that episode.
But when we choose to show up, even when we're tired, even when we're frustrated, angry, irritated, or uncertain about what's going to happen next, it's about our commitment.
Right.
It's not temporary. It is permanent. It is unwavering. And it's all about that union, the two of us against the world.
Yeah, I agree.
So again, that's our 10. Marriage is a living, breathing relationship, and it grows as we grow.
It sure does.
These are ideas. They're I call them a foundation. They can help make your marriage strong, where both partners can feel safe, seen, cherished, and supported. So we try this all the time. I have to say that Marriage 2.0 is so much better than Marriage 1.0. We'll just say that Marriage number 1 was a beta test.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Anyway, I hope that these will find or resonate with you as they did with me.
Yeah, even just doing one of these, right, and improving on one of these will help.
Amen.
Particularly any of the ones before number 9, but because that will lead to number 9. So.
That is true. That is true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I'm Rod.
I'm Scott.
See ya.
Bye-bye.